I'm Carrol, and I have an organization called the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We have been working with Ukraine for 4 years now, and we have been honored to provide support to the families of the deceased, helping those who are grieving a loss find comfort, hope, and healing. Our organization was created in 1994, almost 25 years ago in the United States, and it was the first organization of its kind. So we went through a process of exploring exactly what my previous speaker and friend was saying, an examination of what our families really needed, where the gaps were in services, and how we could best meet those needs. When we were in Ukraine last month, we had a wonderful opportunity to meet with many families, about 150 or so. There's a picture from that meeting up on the screen. During that meeting, we talked about the programs in America, our 24/7 helpline, our peer-based support, our connections to grief counseling, and our assistance in identifying benefits. But we asked the families here what would be of most use. And the number one thing they said was emotional support. And it was finding that family, that tribe, that community to come together. So we talked about how we could create even a global community. And we held up photographs of our loved ones, our American delegation and the Ukraine delegation. And we found at once, we had everything in common. We had the love of someone whose life included sacrifice for the freedom of their country. That brought us all together, and it was an extraordinary moment. We also talked about the need for memorialization, and that is something you do so well here in Ukraine, and something we could even learn from in the United States. And then we talked about identifying resources that already exist and finding ways to connect families who need those resources with them, whether they are in the government or whether they are in another organization or in the private sector. So I wanted to share my thanks to each of you for coming forward. There is so much expertise in this room, and I would like to recognize my colleagues from Georgia who traveled here to also lend their expertise. We have a community around the world who has come together to help Ukraine and to stand in solidarity with you as we find the resources to honor those who have served and care for the families they are left behind. Thank you all very much.